Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my players and playerettes, what is going on? What is live? It is your boy, Nathaniel Clark, and we are now live with the second, or I guess, first episode of the recap show. Oh shit, that happened recaps, the results live with Nathaniel Clark. I am Nathaniel. And I am not here by myself, no sirree. It's the very first episode, so I had to splurge out, get us a very special first episode guest. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the CEO of Ultra Wrestling, one of the GMs here, and the main big huncho of the hunchos. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my guest here today, Faded Skull. How are we doing here, Faded? Thank you for joining me.
That's quite all right. I'm doing great. Really excited to be here. I love what you've done with this show. It's got a great feel to it. I caught the first episode. This is technically obviously the first episode of the recap, but the oh shit that happened. It was great, and yeah, I'm buzzed. I'm ready to be here, ready to talk about what an incredible opening week we've had with the premieres and the exciting future that we've got that me and you just spoke about off mic. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm buzzed. How are you doing?
You know what? I am doing fantastic, man. I'm here to get on with these recaps, these results. We have had a crazy week of action, so to speak. We had Havoc on Wednesday, Mercy on Saturday. We had a little bit of that MMA tournament on Sunday. So you already know what we're going to do here live. We're going to break down what happened. We're going to let you know what we think. Who's on the rise, who's not, who we thought was going to win, who wasn't. I said, just sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, grab your drink. We gonna shoot this shit and start it off.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
so let's go ahead. We gonna start our first show, our first premiere of Havoc. First match going in, we had Rebecca Starr versus
Ooh.
Ileana, with Rebecca Starr getting that W. A hell of a match, if I must say.
Yeah, look, hell of a match, of course. Let's first look at Havoc, what it means to myself, what it means to Gold, of course, to see it back. It was just what we wanted. Gold really brought his energy on the commentary. You could see how excited he was, and it was great booking. Obviously, we saw what happened at Ultra One with Rebecca Starr and Liliana. The fight ended in count out, which no one likes to see. We
Mm-hmm.
managed to get that as the opener, for Havoc. It was an Extreme Rules match, so there was no chance of a count out. There was no rules. Anything, anything could have happened. SJ, of course, by Rebecca's side. But yeah, Rebecca kind of proved that there was no lingering doubt. A lot of people wasn't sure who was going to be the better of the two. They're both new at Ultra, so it's not like we've seen them before at other feds. For us, it was all brand new viewing, and I think even Liliana shouldn't feel disappointed with that result, though, with that loss, because they both put on a great opener. And I don't think we could have put two other people in the ring who would have provided a better opener for the rebrand and relaunch of Havoc, of course. It was great. And yeah, I'm really happy for Rebecca, obviously, has done great things and pushed her up this week, coming forwards a title qualifier match, which I'm sure we're all looking forward to. That will be
Yes,
on Wednesday this week, of course. I'm not sure when
absolutely.
this drops. When does this drop?
It's probably gonna be dropping here later today.
I like that. I like that. There we go. So yeah, tomorrow night. But yeah, opener was sensational. I couldn't see anything bad about it. Gar as well on commentary really brought it. Great fight feel, and it just had that emotion to it because there was a lot of animosity backstage. They were angry, right? Because it ended at. You don't want to have a count out at a pay per view at Ultra One at your first massive event. Where
Absolutely.
this is where the first people are watching. There's talent, there's scouts, there's eyes on you, and it was just frustrating for both of them. They were angry at me for even having count outs an option. So yeah, there was a lot of emotion, and I think that they let it out there, and they left nothing in that ring. Like they both put it all on the line, and yeah, very happy for Rebecca. And I think that, like I said, Liliana should not feel at all disheartened by that. She's going to get herself back up, and I think she's going to have an excellent run on Havoc, as will Rebecca.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I definitely think there are great things in Rebecca Starr's future. Definitely going in and getting that W, setting a statement, I might add. And I definitely think that both ways going. We got a hell of a women's division here. If that was just a little preview and taste, I can't wait for the full course meal. Um, Moving on there to that second match that we had there, we had Jay Baker versus Slick, Shane Roberts, and Tommy DeMiles in a what I believe it was a fatal four-way match. Might have been some eliminations here and there. But Jay Baker going out at the end and getting that win. Definitely just looking at the names here and invested in this match. One I feel definitely stands out amongst the others, and that would be a Shane Roberts. He has been well known around these feds and different things of that nature. So I think for most fans, looking at it, you would think, okay, yeah, Shane's probably gonna come in here, get the W, and get out. But Jay Baker coming in here and putting in work, and not only these works, but the pause, putting them
Yeah,
on these people. Good God,
yeah. Well, I
Jay
mean,
Baker.
Jay Baker and I think it was Tommy Demise,
Yes,
the
sir.
two at the end. That really they again, like I said in the first match, really they left nothing out there. It was an incredible battle, and Jay Baker, like you said, would have probably been the underdog if we were on the bookmakers right now trying to put a bet on. Jay
Yeah.
would have probably won us the most money, but not many people would have backed him. It was a crazy fight. Look, Shane, I think his mission is done. It's almost like a story like Cody Rhodes. He had to finish it off. I handed the torch over to him. I'm not going to say I gave him the win, but he beat me. I think that's what he needed to do. I think that his head isn't quite where it was, and I think that he is the king, like you said, of many places. He can go anywhere across the world and dominate. That's what Shane is. And yeah, in my opinion, I think that things have worked out the best for him. I think that his future is so exciting. I can't wait to watch where he goes and what he's up to next. But look, it gives other people the opportunity. Jay Baker, like you said, no one expected that. And what this can do for Jay now, his momentum going forwards is going to be incredible. Obviously, he's going to be
Mm-hmm.
talking the goal. He's not going to want to be in these multi-man matches again. He's going to have to do it tomorrow night to try and win that championship. Obviously, it's the Havoc Hardcore Championship on the line in a fatal freeway. So
Yes, it is.
the changes in comparison is that fatal four-way had elimination. This triple threat match, there's no elimination. So it's the first
Mm.
pinfall. You probably, you've seen it before. You've seen the emotion in wrestlers where you don't even have to be involved in that pin count and you can lose. It's a heartbreaking moment when you're in a triple threat and there's nothing you can do if you're out of the ring. If you find yourself distracted for a second and you see another person pick up that W and you feel like you could have done it, it's going to be such an exciting. I'm not just trying to sell you it because I have to. I'm selling you it because I want to right now. This is going to be an incredible triple threat tomorrow. And I think, look, Jay Baker, you can't buy that momentum. Like, you can't get that. There's no
No,
drug.
you can't.
There's nothing really. Yeah, it's just you have to win. You have to feel it, and that's what Jay done. He smashed it at Havoc, and I think that he's going to go on. I'm not going to put my predictions in. I can't as a CEO. I'm not going to say who I think's going to win. I got to be fair across the board, but I think that Jay Baker's going to surprise a lot more people again tomorrow night.
I definitely think so. So definitely, man, big ups to Jay Baker. Go ahead and do the damn thing moving forward. Hopefully, best of luck to you in your title match. Moving on to the next match that we had that night, with also the winner of that match also going to be one of the contestants in that triple threat match for the hardcore title. That man, Dasake, Daisuke, Daisuke, whatever you know him as, you will respect it. Cause the day is here for Daisuke, baby. That
Yeah,
man also went ahead and not only put the pause on that man Reject, which great respect and big ups to him. He does have a bright future here in the company. But I think Daisuke came in laser focused. He said, "This is my time. Okay, we gonna make Daisuke Day a damn thing." And
hell
it's
yeah.
gonna happen. I believe it. Daisuke is also in that match there. We've seen him in other promotions as well. Kind of to some detractors, playing second fiddle to some people.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
in some people's minds, hasn't quite made it to that spot yet. but I definitely think showing us what he's been showing us here, he has more than the tools and the qualities to be a top player here, and I'm very excited to see his stock rise and the future he's able to cultivate here of the past.
Somebody who I feel like you put it best yourself. Like, I'm not going to, go into too much detail, but I feel like has been playing second fiddle to some people in other federations. And I feel like when I started Ultra, Daisuke was kind of a no-brainer because I feel like this is an opportunity for Daisuke to not almost reinvent himself. But look, when you dabble in a different few feds at the same time, you can kind of twist your persona and try and play into different characteristics and see what works, test your abilities really. And that's how you find yourself. That's how I found myself, certainly over 20 years of wrestling, going to different companies and learning different attributes and different characteristics. And look, it made me a bit of an arrogant asshole, but that's who I am. That's the character that I own, and I think that
Yes.
for Daisuke, it can be a blessing for him, not a curse. I think that whether or not tomorrow night is his night, I feel like this will be a great experience for him. And I'm not instantly saying I think Baker's going to be outperforming him tomorrow. I just feel like for Daisuke, this is a great opportunity for him to really show his worth. And we're going to touch on the MMA, so I won't get into it so much yet. But look, Daisuke has been nothing but A-star results ever since he's come here. So I'm just really stoked to have him at Ultra, and I think he's performing outstandingly at the moment.
Absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where he goes. From just the action that we've seen from him in the past, we definitely know he has all the qualities and capabilities of a champion. So I'm very excited to see him finally break that glass ceiling, so to speak. And we may be seeing that here next week. So definitely keep your eyes out. Make sure you tune in. That's going to be a hell of a main event. But we are not done just yet. Going back to the women, as I touched on, we if Rebecca Starr and Ileana were a preview of just the sheer star power of the women that I've seen showcased here on Ultra, then I feel like this match, Kyla Rain versus Skylar Viper, is that's just it, man. Let me see if I can explain it like this. If Rebecca Starr and Ileana are the best fast food I've ever had in my life,
Mm-hmm.
this match is probably like a buffet of the best food I've ever had in my life.
I
I
like
feel
that.
like I just got zooted to booted, and I just walked in the Golden Corral, and everything was fresh.
It's
The
got
chicken
it's
was
got a bit of
good.
everything. It's
The
got a bit
bis
of everything.
the biscuits were buttered. My
Yeah,
greens were
yeah.
collard. This was amazing. This was delightful to watch as a wrestling fan. This was, you know what? Let me just whoever oh no, whoever booked this, let me just
Yeah,
I'm gonna give y'all claps right now because that was just amazing.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
wow.
It was a hell of a match, and two incredible stars who have really pushed the boundaries of what women's wrestling is. These two wrestlers, and look, when it comes to Havoc as well, you got to realize, and I know you do, that Havoc used to be this crazy, hardcore, blood-fueled, graphic show where I'll be honest, and I'm not sure there wasn't any, reason for it, but it's just I don't think there wasn't much woman on the roster at the promotion at the time, so we didn't really see many women fight over at Havoc back in the day. Seeing the rebrand of Havoc and knowing that women are exclusive to Havoc this time round, it really highlights the wrestling side of things anyway. But, look, like you said, this one doesn't need, I mean, it needs a good match, it needs a good story, it needs all of that, but it's already two crazy names, right? When you put Skylar and, oh God, I've got a name now. The only reason I forget her name is because she has a backstage role as well, and I know I want to call her by that name a lot more. Could you remind me?
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel you. That's gonna be Kyla Rain.
Carla Reigns. There we go.
Kyla Rain. I
That's
got you.
There it is. And don't become big air your name, honestly. It's only purely because the backstage role, I know you've got as another name, I'm not going to dox it. But yeah, of course. Look, they both put on an incredible show. And I think that for there to only be two women's fights, I know that the roster's a little bit smaller. They certainly didn't feel left out. They highlighted that the opener, do you know what I mean? They got the fans buzzed, they got the fans ready to
Yes,
sit
sir.
back for the other five fights. That's what the opener's about. And we don't do mid cards. So this wasn't a mid card fight. You know, we don't do that in the middle, fill in the show. We put
No,
on
we
banger
don't.
after banger. And Skylar has come across an incredible opportunity when she faced Chloe at Ultra One, because this fight was something that was in the talks for months on end, and it finally happened at Ultra One, and it was incredible. And obviously, Skylar picked up a very important W, and I think
Yes.
that W clarified that she was probably the best in the business at that time. So
Yeah.
for her to lose and for Kyla to beat her, it kind of shows where Kyla's head's at right now. And look, I've spoken to Kyla, and she's got this. She's got something planned tomorrow. She's going to get on the mic. So make sure you all tune into Havoc. She's going to say things a million times better than this old man can. She will tell you where her head is. She will tell you where the future's at. She will tell you exactly, the steps that she's formed to get there. And I think that it's very exciting. Look, we got the women qualifiers tomorrow, like I've already said as well. So we'll know
Sure
who
do.
will be going against Kyla in it. And I cannot wait to find out who. It's just going to be great. And look, I think that will end up being a triple threat again for a championship, which, look, I'm not going to come at Go and say, Go, can we please fix this? But Go, after this, the next championship going to be a one-on-one, God damn it. I would much rather see that. And look, triple threats are entertaining, but we could get a lot of attitude from it. We could get people storming our office if they aren't involved in the pinfalls. We don't want that drama. I want a peaceful life. I want to come here. I want to put on shows, put on fights. That's what I'm here for. I want to get some people angry. I want to get the feuds going. I want to see some great feuds leading up to Ultra
Mm-hmm.
2. I want there to be heat, nothing personal, just wrestlers giving us
Yes.
what we all pay to see, what we
Because
all
we love
tune
to
in
see it.
to see. We all love to see. And that's where I'm at. But yeah, Skylar, Kayla, amazing. And another surprise, if I'm honest. I think another underdog picking up the W, but I think we're evaluating people wrong, clearly, because all the underdogs are winning. I don't think they're underdogs at all. We got it
to,
wrong.
to be honest, I'm sitting here thinking, I've been in this scene not too long, but I know who a lot of these people are, especially coming into Ultra. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh yeah, I'm smart. I'm a smart journalist. I've been around the block a few times. I know who's winning and who's not.
Yeah, that's it.
And
That's it.
I look like a mark out here, man. Y'all out here
Look,
putting
we
on
see
banger
it
after
in
banger.
every sport that you can think of. I'm sure you see it in American football. We see it over here in football. Y'all call it soccer. I'm not going to get into a debate about that right now. You'll get me angry, God damn it. But look, sometimes you make transfers. They don't work out. I don't know what it is. Is it the atmosphere? Is it the fact that they maybe have lost? They had more fans in other promotions where over here they're
Mm-hmm.
not as known. We don't know what happens, but I've seen it happen time and time again. People make moves. They switch over. It doesn't work out the way that they planned. It's not roses. It's not championship. It's not accolade after accolade. Sometimes it's disappointment, heartbreaking. It just feels like a car crash. And I feel like, look, maybe I'm going a bit. I'm not going to. Maybe I'm going a bit overboard here. Do you know what I mean? But
Go ahead. Talk your
let,
talk.
talk your talk. Let's just think about it. Look, at the end of the day, I can go on. I don't want to feel like I'm talking about anybody personally or ruining anybody's reputation. I'm not going to say anybody's had a car crash. End of the day, you come here sometimes, you predict something. It's way too early for me to make claims like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
These wrestlers have a lot to prove so far. Yeah, sometimes you go to these promotions. Sometimes it's a car crash for the first couple of weeks. But it's that mentality. It's about bringing yourself back. And I've done it
Yes,
many
sir.
times. Many wrestlers have. And I think that it's going to be important. like you said, we've seen other promotions, we've seen who rises and who falls, but it's like you said about Shane, right? We had Shane here. He beat me. He completed that story. Finally, it needed to happen. And then in that fatal four-way out of nowhere, Jay Baker. Like we feel like we got robbed. We feel like that was scripted. No one expected that. You know, I feel like it
Honestly,
was so unexpected. And then it's underdog again after underdog. I feel like Shane of the better things. Skylar, I just want to, straight up say, love the girl. Definitely not a car crash, okay? Maybe I went a little bit cheesed and a little bit
let's say
overboard.
definitely not a car crash. Skylar
Definitely
came
not.
in here, she was doing
And
good. There may
I
have been
think,
little fender
yeah,
bender,
I'm thinking that
but the car ain't total.
I'm talking a little bit more Chloe. If anything, look, I think that's where the confusion lies. Chloe, obviously, she was women's champion. Here we go. She's with his head straight on. All right. I smoked a little bit. I forgot what I was talking about, but I'm
There we
way
go.
back now. I'm way back.
Right.
So Chloe beat you, EK. Look, she done the impossible over at SVW. She beat Jazz. Jazz was champion for I can't even remember how many days, right? Almost
She
a
was
year.
champion for a while.
Almost a year. So this is where I'm at. Chloe beats Jazz. She finally does it. She does the impossible. And not only
Mm-hmm.
beats Jazz once, but she does it a few times over a 2 out of 3 Falls match. I think a couple times at Destiny. She proved that she
Yes.
could do it. She came here. Skylar beat her, right? And let's talk. I don't want to ruin it because we'll get into the MMA. But what happened at the MMA? Chloe got knocked out in 90 seconds. This is what
Brutal
can
fashion.
happen to you when you switch. Sometimes it doesn't work. But what I want Chloe to do, what I want Shane to do in his, in his new ventures, what I want Skylar to do, and everyone who feels like they have fallen a bit is just keep going. Don't give up because anything can happen. Look at Jay Baker,
Yeah.
for example. He wasn't doing so great at other places. Dasake or Daisuke may have looked like he was second best against other wrestlers, but sometimes you just need to switch it up a little bit. You need to
Yeah.
change it,
I'm about to say
switch up
one
a few
thing. Yeah.
characteristics, try a few different move sets. It can work out. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This is what the beauty of being new is. This is what the beauty of this place being so new is. We just don't know, and I need to stop looking at the past, looking at who done well there, and focus more on what we've got in front of us.
That's do you know what you touched on a lot of great points because there's definitely a lot of points in there where it's just as a wrestler and as a former wrestler myself, I wrestled a little bit, dabbled in the square circle, found out I was trash, and now I sit back here and talk to people that are good at it. But realistically, looking at where some of these people were, and then looking at where they are now, it just goes to show, and we've seen it time and time again with professional wrestlers. I feel like one thing when it comes to this business that a lot of people don't really anticipate is the reinvention of oneself.
Yeah,
And sometimes maybe that little the way I always heard it, particularly in the cases of some famous names like a LA Knight or things of that nature. I'm gonna name drop my boy, hopefully that leads to something. Cough cough, hint hint. But anyway, feel me with it. Let's even use him as an example. One of the wonderful things that I heard when it comes to this pro wrestling business is that when you are established or you're beginning to be established and you have that gimmick that you're going with, once you get that call up per se, once you get that call up to go on to the big leagues, to come on up here and show us on a bigger stage what you can do, you can't do the same thing that got you there. We got you there. You already got their attention. Now you got to do something else that elevates you. You know what I'm saying? We already know, for people that come in here and yeah, I'm hot shit. I'm this, that, and the third. I'm all that in a bag of chips with no drink. Like,
oh, for
okay,
sure.
cool. But then it's like all you gonna do is still be that number two combo with no drink and some fries.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm used to. Maybe I want to supersize.
That's
Give me
that's
a
what
milkshake.
that's what I'm saying.
Throw in
That's
a
what I'm
toy.
saying.
Something.
Throw in the sides, throw in the extras on the low.
Right,
That's what
give me
I'm
some
saying.
sauces, So I'm definitely seeing, a lot of people coming in here with a new mindset. I'm here in this new promotion that's getting established. Not only are we gonna establish that, but I'm gonna establish myself. I'm seeing a lot of people. If I wasn't a main event player before, I sure as hell am now. And I will not be denied. And I'm loving that energy that I'm getting. And I hope that continues to not only just go forth, but just stay there. And if anything, that drive just gets deeper for these people because the cap is limitless. You
Oh
can
yeah,
only go as high as you want to go at
yeah,
this
for
point.
sure. That's what I'm saying. I mean, take a look at AJ. You know, I think a lot of disrespect in the chamber. A lot of people saying, who is this Ken looking? We can swear here. Who is this Ken looking motherfucker? Everyone
Yeah.
kept saying. And then AJ won that chamber. Not only won that chamber, but then carried the tag championships alongside Lex Express, proved everyone wrong. And then GM Sean has put AJ forward for the primetime championship against Brian Reyes. So, I mean, this is what this is what we're saying. You just don't know. There
The
is no limit.
land, the
I hate that.
land of possibilities. Let me
I
tell
hate
you
that. I
something.
hate that saying. The sky is the limit because there is no limit. You can do whatever you want in this industry. You can carry yourself however you want. And like I spoke with Jazz, who had that championship and the tag championship over at SCW, this can be replicated here. AJ could go all the way. Someone else out of the ashes, maybe Jay Baker surprises all of us. Who knows? We could have Ranger Renegade come from nowhere and take the tag championships, go
You
on a
never know.
USP. Anything can happen here. I'm really excited to see, where it goes. We've got a few things planned. We're not talking about that right now. Let's recap the rest of Havoc. I mean, look, we got a little distracted after Skylar and Kyler. I think we were talking about ambitions. Sometimes you fall, sometimes you rise in life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you do, and I'm very excited to see everybody go in, and just elevate. I'm very excited not only for their careers to see where it leads them, but also just for the sheer greatness of wrestling that we're going to be witnessing. It's going to be a treat for everybody. And I guess moving forward there in the semi-main event of Havoc, we got Tito Bryant versus Bucky versus Nolan Wright, who is a well-known fan favorite, and Bucky went out here and got this W. Once again, another unexpected result. And no disrespect to Bucky. No disrespect to Bucky at all. My man came
Yeah,
in there and did his thing, of course. I just wasn't expecting it. And you
yeah,
know what? I think from here on out, I'm just gonna go in. I'm just gonna stop making these bets because I lost a lot of money that night. But I'm very happy
yeah.
personally.
No,
I lost a lot of money, but my heart is full. I'm
I
seeing a
can
lot of
agree
people
with you.
get their moments.
I can agree. Look, yeah, I'm CEO. Unfortunately, laws are against me betting on my own company and the results, so I can't do
Well,
that.
that
But
makes
I'm
sense.
kind of glad. I'm kind of glad after Havoc. I can't lie because I would have lost a lot as well. I would have, probably put a house or two on it. I can't lie, but the results didn't go that way. Look, Bucky. I mean, I'm looking back at the Water Rumble, and I remember remembering Bucky, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Bucky really got his name out there in that Water Rumble, and although it was a gimmick fight, and it was more of just it bringing Ultra to the world in a very unique and strange way, which
Hmm.
I think worked very well. But yeah, Bucky really did show that he had something special that night, and it obviously was enough for Gold to put him in that fight against Nolan. Right, firstly, can we touch upon Nolan? Look, I don't really know
Okay.
much about this other kid, Brian. All right, I'm not too sure about him. I haven't seen him before, so for me, it was always, let's see what he can do. But for me, I was looking at Nolan. I know what Nolan can do. Bucky, I
Hmm.
kind of saw him at the Rumble, so I knew the fighting style. And I know that match had to be rebooked a few times. There were a few issues, a few wrestlers who were originally booked couldn't get to the event, unfortunately. So we had to make a few scheduling issues, and we fixed that. And I think that there was no, from the outside, you wouldn't have known that. Let's just say that match looked planned. That match looked like those wrestlers were watching tapes of the other fighters. They knew about each other. It wasn't a mixed match thrown together at the end just to fill.
Yeah.
Although it kind of was. You know, that's how professional these wrestlers are. Even if they aren't fighting each other, they're sat there studying every wrestler in the roster because they know that this game, it's a small world. You're going to bump into everyone eventually in this game. If there's someone who even, has any kind of charisma that with you and it would work, you're going to find them. It's how the stars align in this wrestling world. You do meet in the end. So, I think that it's just one of those things. But look, yeah, I keep getting a little bit distracted, and I love getting distracted.
You
But
you are A-okay.
we are talking about this match, and it was crazy. It was just it really. I want to give it to the wrestlers, and I could give it to the wrestlers, but it would be easy of me. I'm going to give this one to Go. Go handled the pressure of not
Mm.
having the talent available. He managed to switch things around and created this fight that was amazing. I mean, we knew that Nolan was going to put on a barn burner. Looking at Bucky in
For
that
real.
rumble, we knew he was going to do a lot. And Ty Bryant, I believe his name is. I've only commentated one match, and as I started in SCW, you'll see I learned your name pretty quickly. But you have to
Um,
give me a few matches.
yes, that's gonna be Tito
Yeah,
Bryan.
Tito. Yeah, see, unfortunately, we don't even have the UI when I commentate. So for me to remember you right away so hard. But there we go. I didn't know what to expect. And still very, very well. I believe it was elimination. No, I don't think it was elimination, a triple threat. I believe that one wasn't. There's been a lot of fights. So if I'm wrong, I do apologize. But it was an incredible battle.
Yes.
My bet was on Nolan if I was a betting man. I think Nolan was going to do it. He was so great under my wing at Mayhem. He was probably one of the greatest wrestlers I worked with. I had so much fun being his GM. So, yeah, I think it was kind of another surprise for Bucky, like you said. And look, we keep saying that Havoc was full of surprises. That's what I love. But we've covered all of them. Do you know what I mean? Bucky, we have Daisuke, and of course, we have Jay Baker. They're going to be in Triple Threat tomorrow night,
Yes,
going
they
for
will
that
be.
prestigious Hardcore Havoc Championship. And we're going
Hmm.
to know who wins. And I feel like I'm not sure what Goal has planned for the other two, but I don't think they should be pushed out as the title picture afterwards. I feel like maybe put them together. Whoever wins gets a one-on-one. I'm not sure. I'm not going to book for him, but I feel like all three of them deserve that title tomorrow night. And
Yes,
if it wasn't a farewell and we wanted to, make it boring, I'd give all three of them the goddamn title. But people don't want to watch
absolutely.
that. It's an unfair world, and there's winners and there's losers. So we're going to see tomorrow night. One of them will be a winner. Unfortunately, the other two will have to take the L and walk away with it.
Unfortunately, and that's just what happens here.
That's
Um,
show
you know,
business.
but yeah, it's show business. It's not show friends. It's
That's
show
it. I like
business.
it. Nothing
You know.
personal.
So you know what? We're gonna go ahead. And we press on. Very excited to see that triple threat match tomorrow. And then the main event of Havoc. Hell of a main event, if I might add.
A
Um,
goal special. If you
we
see
had
tables, that sadistic bastard is right behind it.
Yep. We had Brian Reyes versus Blackout, and Brian Reyes picking up the W.
Yeah,
Before I even go forward, Blackout is a big motherfucker. Uh, that man is huge. So looking at it, I'm sitting here like Brian got a chance. I've seen him perform before, and he
yeah.
got some skills on him. But I was just like, this definitely look a little. If I have ever seen a David and Goliath match, I'd call it that.
Oh, for sure. Look, when it comes to this match, there's things I can't talk about. I'm currently in a legal battle because
Dang.
a few health and safety regulators out there aren't quite sure what goes through someone's mind to think an Iron Man tables match is a good idea. So they're checking a few things, making sure everything was done safely. So there's a few things I don't want to say, but look, Go is he's a disgusting man when it comes to tables. Right, he loves to see his wrestlers get hurt. Not once, okay? He gave the opportunity for those wrestlers to put each other through tables as many times as they can. There were 32 tables underneath that ring in total. I saw him and his team.
It's a lot of
They were
tables.
bringing tables in constantly every day in a row. There was one man at the van, one man at the apron, a spread of people in between handing tables to each other. It was insane. I had to stop the guy, and I'm under a lot of pressure right now from the law because of him. There's no tables in Havoc tomorrow, I assure you. Okay, yeah, maybe tables in Extreme Rules matches, but no
Okay.
single table Iron Man. I loved it. Brian done well, but look, he just needs to get over it, goal, because what does it prove? How can Brian say I'm a better wrestler? Because he managed to beat this guy up in a car boot cell. That's all he done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all he done. He broke some furniture. We ain't here for that. We're here to see people fight each other. I love tables. Put a man through tables, but don't do Iron Man. Okay, it's too much on me. It's too much pressure. I'm an old guy. I don't need this stress. I've got enough of it already. Great match anyway, but the first table was enough for me. It was enough for Blackout. Big motherfucker, like you said, but no, Goal needs to calm down with it.
Well, then you heard it here first, Gould. Tone it down before there are changes made.
Yeah,
I'm
100.
out here giving threats like I can do something. I'm just a guy on a different show, so don't even pay me no damn mind.
But no,
Um,
look, overall, incredible show. Great first show. It done great numbers wise. I was, very skeptical about how Havoc would do. It's a very controversial, very aggressive, very hardcore, extreme kind of show that doesn't get much TV time. You look at the counterparts that we have, WWE, AEW. I mean, AEW don't care as much, I suppose, but WWE, they tone it down a lot. And to try and put something out like Havoc in 2023, where concussions are of the norm, it's kind of hard to excuse. But I think it was presented in a very professional manner. And although all of these wrestlers put themselves through hell, they are professionals. They knew what they were doing. Never try this at home, of course.
Never
Ever in your
try.
life. These guys,
Don't try it at home.
they put it all on the line. And look, if I have to, I'm not going to go 10 out of 10 because everyone just thinks I'm a CEO who's just. I'm going to make something interesting for you here as well. I'm going to give you a little bit of a taste that no one else has got. By the time we finish breaking down Mercy, I'm going to give you who I think was GM of the week. How does that sound?
You know what? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. I love exclusives.
We'll
So
talk.
let's
We'll talk Mercy first. We'll get
let's
through that.
go. Let's press on. Let's press on. So Havoc was a hell of a show, but if you thought that was all you were getting, you would be wrong. Saturday nights, we had the premiere of Mercy last Saturday, what seems to be Ultra's flagship show, and we gonna go ahead and get into that right there. Starting us off Saturday night, we had OM versus Ranger Redneck, with unfortunately, not even unfortunately for OM, he did wind up getting the W, but Ranger unfortunately picking up a loss here. Do you think for big stars that people are excited about, like a Ranger Redneck coming in here, especially with his group, the Ranger Renegades, we already know offer it before they even had a match that the crowd was behind them. They have fan support. So what do you think? Big moment necessarily with the season premiere of Mercy, but coming into the season premiere and losing. Do you think that has the possibility to maybe destabilize one's trajectory moving forward?
I think it's possible. Yeah, for sure. Look, I think Rangers backed himself. We spoke about this a bit off mic about the Ranger Renegades. The new tag team. So I think there's options, 100% for Ranger. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think OM was a surprise for me. He really came out and shown that he's not. Look, I looked at his entrance at Ultra One and I was thinking, who's this clown? Who's this Joker? I want real wrestlers here, not people with these gimmicks. We had Elon, we had Mark, we had the gimmicks. We don't want any more. I got Hobo Joe and Chemical Kev on the roster for good sake.
Yes, we do.
I'm done with the rest. Someone's
Yes,
tried.
right.
Someone's tried pitching Spaghetti-O Man to me. I'm like, look. I've got enough right now. Okay. So to see Owen walking out with this stupid ass sign, looking like a plonker, I'm like, what's he doing? But he proved me wrong, and he proved, I think, even Sean wrong. No one predicted that. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record. It's all that we said about Havoc, but it's just so true at the moment. We were all taken surprised by almost every result that's happened over the last week. That's what's made every ultra event so far so fun. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think Ranger, he has other options, so I don't think that it's going to be too much of a shift in momentum. I know Ranger, he's a very positive cat, so I think that he can go forwards. And yeah, we'll touch on the MMA and we'll go deeper into Ranger a little bit
Yes,
later on.
yes, we shall. Yes, we shall. Moving then on to the second match of the night, we have some little bit of tag team action. We're gonna see a lot of tag teams here. First thing up, we had the Midnight Riders, which consists, I believe, of the Ultra X champion AJ Ryder and Lex Express,
Yeah, that's
also
the
known
one.
as Mr. Running and Jumping himself. But at least we got them two against British Dominion. With that, I believe it's Bob Caldwell and Darren Matthews. Am I right?
Yeah, you are right. And
Okay,
look, let me tell
excellent.
you about that match, all right? Lex Express, he sent Darren Matthews and Bob on the last train home. They took the express carriage and they had a miserable night because it
They
just
sure
didn't
did.
go their way. And you know what? They came backstage and they had the audacity. They had the audacity to go to my fashion, to go to my people in fashion and say they got the attires wrong. And I'm like, are you serious right now? You
Not
think
the
some
not the not the fashion people.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. They're great. We love the fashion people. And
Why
look,
would you do that?
you think that the fibers on your body are gonna change how you wrestle? They felt like they didn't feel like a tag team. Look, this ain't dodgeball. We've all seen that film. Look, it doesn't matter what you wear. Okay, you're a team. It's what unites you. I'm pressing on my heart, on my chest, because that's what makes you a team. Brotherhood,
Yeah.
friendship, whatever dynamic we're talking about. It's not about what you wear. And what
Not,
pissed me off about that, I said to Sean, is look, these are a bunch of posers, a bunch of excuse makers. Watch out for them. And if you're listening, Bob, if you're listening, Darren, buckle up because it's going to be a scary ride if you keep blaming other things on your failures. You guys could rise up. But look, when you go against AJ Ryder, what has AJ proved? What has he proved since AJ's been an absolute dominance over dominance, beaten everything in his way. So
and if I might add, to just even throw in with you, we was out here clowning AJ for what he was wearing, and he came in here whooped everybody ass.
I almost feel like it was an ironic situation.
It's kind of ironic. My man came in here and we all said, "Look at him! He came right out the Barbie movie. Ha ha ha! Yeah, it's
But
Beach Babe Ken,
even
and
in
he
the
was
tag match, came
surfing."
out in a scooter. It's like, why are you coming down the ramp with a scooter? But it
My
just
man,
shows it's it's the it's the star power. It's the McGregor. You know what I mean? It's that thing that grabs attention. It gets people talking online, and it's the moneymaker. Everyone wants to see AJ in a fight now. They're really excited for what AJ
for
can do. I mean,
real,
AJ and Brian, that's going to be an incredible fight.
and
No
AJ
tables will ever.
Ryder,
But
good
yeah, look,
God,
like Bob, Darren, they both have MMA. They both still have opportunities as a tag team. It's the first week, you know. There's
first
so
week.
much more on the line that can happen. So don't beat yourself up. Don't make excuses. Carry on because Lex Express and AJ are on a train, and I think that train's only getting higher and higher and higher. It's elevated and elevated, and there's gold at the end of that tunnel when they get off,
Yes, there
even
is.
more than they have now.
Yes, there is. Good God, AJ on his way to being a triple champ. Jesus Christ,
Crazy.
we just started.
Mhm.
We just started.
Not breaking records, making records.
For real, we can't
It's
even break
crazy.
them right now. This is ridiculous, but it's all right. Go ahead, AJ. Gonna
Look,
come
I
out
don't
there
know
with
if
his
you've
scooter.
there's one thing that I loved back in the day from my man Kendrick Lamar, all right? Kendrick hopped on a song called Control where he dissed everyone in the game. The reason he dissed everyone is to raise the bar higher, right? And that's what
Yeah,
AJ's doing with these records, raising the bar higher. So if you want to try and beat these records, you're going to have to go crazy. You're going to have to be on some new shit. Like, you're going to have to be on some new shit to try and do this. And this is
Mm-hmm.
what AJ is doing, making it so hard, but not in a nasty way, in a friendly, competitive way to try and push people to new heights. And I'm really for it. I can't wait to see where this goes and if a triple champion will happen. Come, we'll get into when this is going to happen, this prime time championship, because there's a little
Absolutely.
I'm excited to tell you with it. That will come a little bit towards the end.
Absolutely. Definitely more to come. Moving on then with the second tag team match here tonight. We had the Hobo and Chemical Connection with Hobo Joe and Chemical Kid. Before I even go any deeper, I just wanna sit here and relish in the fact that we have a tag team that consists of a man named Hobo Joe with shit stains on the back of his drawers that comes out here day in and day out and is putting on classics. Which,
Yeah.
if this man, Hobo Joe, can come from out of his box with dirty drawers and he's coming in here with Chemical Cab.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I ain't even get. Let me just finish it. So Hobo Joe and Chemical Cab, the Hobo Chemical Connection, went
Hmm.
against Ranger Renegades. And now
Yeah.
to go back to what I was saying, to have this man Hobo Joe come in here with dirty drawers and dirty clothes, holes in his shit, in his socks, in his shirt, in everything. And he beat y'all ass.
Quickly as
Y'all let
well,
this
man.
man come
Very.
out from
It was the quickest fight of the night, I think.
this
And
man, Hobo Joe, really came out from under his box, said, "Hold on, let me get this money."
yeah,
Got that money and went back to
back
his
to the
box.
box. Yeah, look, I offered Hobo and a tire. I offered Hobo and a tire. I work with Adidas. Okay, I got Hobo a great attire. He looked at me, pondered for potentially a moment, and said, "I am who I am." That's all he said, and that's all he's
Oh.
ever said to me. Those 5 words: "I am who I am," and I respect it. Look, we already know
Okay.
Chemical Kev. He won an exemption from all drugs testing in the UK from the back of a cereal box in 1990, right? He's all good. He can do what he likes and he gets away with it. No one knows what Uncle Ken's on. But
We don't know, but he on one.
to put these two together is absolutely insane, you know. It's
Insanity.
it's insanity, but it was supposed to be that Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg feel, I think, for sure. And when I was with Sean, I was backstage and I saw them beat Alan Wagner. Alan Wagner, by the way, I was so shocked. We had jaws dropping. Everyone in the room looked like they just seen. I know I gonna make the joke I was gonna make. They just seen a ghost. Let's just say that much. They just seen somebody rise from the dead right now. Everyone was shocked, all right, and they've done it. They went on to the main event, which we'll touch upon in a minute. How
Yeah.
these two motherfuckers came up with what they had going on in their lives. I mean, Hobo, he sleeps outside every night. We know this, but he sleeps outside.
It's outside.
I think he likes it. We've offered him hotel rooms. He ain't doing it. I offered him a place in Tokyo when we go there later in September. He asked me if he could bring his box on the plane. And I said, yeah, it can be done. So instead, you know, if you are a Hobo Kaz fan, make sure you hang around Tokyo in the streets. You'll see him potentially get a free autograph. Do look after the guy. Buy him a bite to eat. He's a good character. But yeah, look, I think that we shouldn't talk about the losers much in this fight because I don't want to ruin their entire reputation.
I'm
But
not good.
two people, two people lost, and that's all we need to know.
Oh shit. I'm sorry.
Who, who those two people are doesn't matter. in any way, shape, or form. Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just the
I had to
Ranger
take a whole
Renegades.
I had to take a whole anxiety pill when they came out for the main event because I was worried they were going to be my new tag champions.
Bro, I'm just sitting over here thinking about it. Hobo Joe as a champion, still sleeping in a box.
Well,
You got other people coming, and he's just over here like, whoa,
the
get
title around his
back.
waist, the title around his waist is more expensive than his accommodation. That would be some. That would be some next, but I don't know what he would do with it. It couldn't be left out in the streets.
The
I don't
only
know.
thing not hobo about Hobo Joe is these wins. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, but
Ooh,
look,
that was
yeah,
a good laugh.
it was crazy, and I think that Sean took a massive risk. The risk paid off, and the superstars who lost are professionals, and they're picking themselves up and knowing that they can do better.
They sure are. To the Ranger Renegades,
I've
man. I
I've, I've
believe in y'all.
experienced Chemical Kev's Tombstone Power Driver, and let me tell you, it hurts.
It looked like it do.
It does. I can't remember the name for it. I'm trying to. It's an incredible name, the finisher. Yeah, I just cannot remember what it is
Oh,
called.
I
But
don't
it
know,
is,
but it's something crazy. But at least for the Renegades, man, it's all right. Once again, it's still the first week, so y'all still got plenty of time to go ahead and turn that around. We've seen it happen before.
yeah, there's
So
some bang attack fights though. Yeah, tag
yeah,
fights. Two
banger
fights
tag
that really,
fights.
obviously the main event that we'll touch upon in a second.
Yep. So banger tag fights. Moving on to the next tag fight, and this one was to establish the inaugural tag team championships. We had the Midnight Riders versus the Hobo Chemical Connection, and I think in a fashion that nobody saw coming, AJ Ryder double champ. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like that was kind of crazy, and I was kind of backstage praying for it because look, me and Kev we go back, and I know that if he won that championship, dangerous things would have happened. I can't go into too much detail, but Kev loses his mind when things go his way. And I
Good
just would have
lord.
wanted him to be a champion representing the brand. So I'm glad that AJ and Lex done what they needed to. Lex with a championship round his waist. I feel like Lex is kind of he he's got this not an opportunity. He's got this situation. I say a scenario maybe would be more adapted for this. He's got a scenario right now where his his partner is going to be seen as a lot better than him, right? His
Mm-hmm.
partner is going to be looking like he's carrying that team at the moment, and I feel like Lex needs to establish himself as a singles opponent as well as this tag. Like it's great that they're a tag team, but there aren't many tag teams over at that brand at the moment. We're building them up still, so I feel like Sean has to kind of go in the right direction with Lex Express and put Lex in a couple singles matches, show the audience that Lex, can do this himself and is not just piggybacking off AJ's wins. I can't particularly remember who got the fall. I will admit that I can't remember who got the pinfall that won them the match. Maybe that was Lex, and maybe that was enough to prove to the fans. So that
I
that that
believe
part,
so. Yes.
yeah, that part I'm not 100% on. But look, incredible for both of them, and an incredible. This is what I really wanted to happen at Mercy and Havoc. I wanted women's wrestling to be represented, which it was at Havoc, and I wanted tag wrestling to be represented, which it was at Mercy. And I feel like although they are on the same promotion, they're worlds apart. Those brands, one's in a gym hall with some, little bits of logo of Havoc everywhere, and we have this crazy Mercy arena, pink and black, and it just looks like it's been $1 million studio. So they're worlds
Beautiful arena, by the way.
Yeah,
Beautiful arena.
thank you. They're worlds apart, and I think that they complement each other so well at the same time.
Holy shit!
So
I walking
you
in
know,
there for the first time, I was
yeah,
astounded.
it's a great place. And I think that it needed it, Mercy, because look, we got to be real, right? We know there's so many effects in this pond, so many. And Saturday nights, we're trying to do a weekly show when every other Fed's doing their pay-per-views. Like, come on. we have to produce something incredible on Saturday to
You are correct.
try and get viewers over. I know we dropped the ball when Mercy came out. It came out at 7 a.m. in the UK, I will say. It came out extremely late in the UK. It was supposed to come out at midnight UK, it came out 7 a.m. There were some very, very last minute changes to that show, which was obviously the fight we're going to talk about next, I presume, Damo and Brex,
Yes, sir.
which was added right at the end. So, we do apologize. I can assure you this will not happen again. Midnight every single Saturday. We do it at midnight UK time purely because it tends to beat most other pay-per-views are usually over then in
Yeah.
England, or they will start around 2 a.m. in England, US time. So we find this little bit of happy medium between those two big events in the UK and the US. We try and put our little show. It's not a little show, but it's not pay-per-view magnitude, so it's hard to try and compete with the other people on the block. But yeah, we tried to
Absolutely.
put it in between, and I think that Sean done such an incredible job, and I think it's why I went extra hard on the arena. I wanted it to be something that was a breath of fresh air, something different to the pay-per-views that you watch. I wanted it to feel like somewhere you could get away from the intense matches and just watch some great old-fashioned wrestling with some good old storylines and some tag team matches involved.
It really is a great time to see. And it was definitely a fantastic match. And then even touching back to what we briefly mentioned earlier with the semi-main event in there being Damian Garcia versus Jake Brex.
I can't believe that fight. Look, they know each other, so they have shared that ring so many times that it was only natural when Damo needed an opponent. Brex is an incredible friend of mine, and he's on the board with me. He's not really a face. He's a lot more of a brains rather than the face of the operation.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm the guy that comes out, and I'm the guy that calls the shots. People like me, people don't like me. I take the hits basically. I've always been that guy, and it's something I do well. I take hugs and I take shots. I'm good with both of them.
That's
So
right.
I feel like contacting Brex was a no-brainer. Brex put on his gear within 30 seconds, and he was like, "Let's have it." And look, that match had announce tables being broken. It had flaming tables, people being thrown through it. It had everything. It was 40 minutes long, and they just done what they do best. These two, Kiwi versus an Aussie. It's the classic battle, New Zealand and Aussie. We love to see it. They put everything on the line, and look, Damo is an incredible dude with his New Japan experience. He's so loved over there. Like we know about Tokyo, we've already spoke about. The audience there is going to be so insane. It's going to be like Paddy the Baddy when he's at London in the UFC. It is going to be just insane for Damo, and I feel like his experience in that aspect, and Brex was the longest UFC heavyweight champion in history. Brex has really smashed that UFC path and brought that experience. So when them two go together, it's a clash of the titans. It really is. And look, the only way that wasn't going to be the main event is if you had Judah and frickin' Goal. That's the only reason I would say that didn't make main event, because we had such an incredible and a little bit of an ultra one nod rivalry with Judah and Goal. We'll talk about in a second. But yeah, look, I don't need to talk about it, man. I don't want to make it sound boring because it wasn't, but they've done exactly what I knew they were going to do. They sold the hell out of that place. They smashed everything, literally as well, including their own bodies. I don't need to say anything. Watch it. That fight. It doesn't need words.
Yeah,
It doesn't
they
even
went
need
ahead.
commentary. You could watch that without any sound, and you'd be entertained.
Yeah. They went in there and they tore the house down. Damian Garcia came out with a big W, big statement. So definitely congratulations to him. And I can't wait to see what awaits for him in Tokyo. That's going to be awesome to see, and definitely see what comes for him. And then moving into the main event of the night, I think it's only fitting that the main event has none other than the main event, Judah Jones taking on Ghoul. for not only just a regular win, but this one was for the Honor Championship. This is to establish the inaugural
Yeah.
champion. I gotta say, man, just from looking at it, um, just from looking at them all the way back from the Underwater Rumble to just getting here now
Yeah.
to the words exchanged, this has been a hot rivalry to say the least.
This is
Going,
this has
wow.
been where I kind of played my hand in a way with this because look, Goal obviously, as we know, GM over at Havoc cannot fight there. So it was only natural that he would be drafted over to Mercy. And I remember going to Sean and I said, look, I don't give a fuck what happens at this draft. The first person you assign in is Judah. And I'm like, this has to happen. We need these two together going at it. It will be incredible. I wasn't expecting him to put that Honor Championship in there. And look, I'm going to quote Triple H as a champion to be proud of. Judah, such a great guy. And I think he's going to do great things with that championship and show people, that this is how you do things and beating Goal to do that as well. Look, some can say that I couldn't manage to do that. All right, let's talk about me versus Goal. He got assistance from somebody in a mask. No one knows who it was. Thrown me all the way down to the crowd near the ramp. And then that's how he got the last man standing win, the 10 count. Didn't really beat me. But Judah went out there and performed at a level that I think if I had to put money on, I probably would have backed Judah anyway, purely because I think Goal's just, an asshole and he's too old. All right. He's like me. He doesn't know when to give up. He doesn't know when to give up, like me at the end of the day. But yeah, an incredible main event. And it was just it was like a Havoc with Rebecca and Liliana. It was an accidental story that we didn't write, that we didn't put two people together. It was something happened, Ultra with those two, the same with Judah and Goal, that made it natural to put these two together in an actual fight at the premiere, not only the premiere, but the main event of Mercy. It was great. And yeah, like I said, I think that on a championship, I think Judah's going to do more with it than Gold could, in my opinion.
Well, I'll say honestly, I'm looking at just what we saw from that match. Now, granted, we've seen Judah in other places, definitely. We've never seen him take on Ghoul in any way, shape, or form. So, for one, just had this dream match take place in the main event here already. It's going to put asses in seats. Now we got championship implications, asses in seats. Now, this is how we secure the fans. Had Judah just go ahead and win it. I definitely think Judah went ahead. He did his damn thing. We saw a certain level of intensity that I don't think we've really seen before. So I definitely think he was ready this time around for
Yeah, for sure.
all that dark, underhanded shit he might pull this time. So definitely big ups to Judah. Good for you. One of my personal favorites. So I'm very excited to see where he goes, possibly with that championship, what he's going to do, how he establishes it. I'm
Yeah.
very, very excited.
Well, this is the good thing about these championships. I mean, with the Ultra X championship that AJ is holding is a little bit different, I suppose. And I suppose with the tag, but the honor, and we're going to see tomorrow night with the hardcore is, look, people can call these mid-card championships. People can call these world star championships, right? This is the beautiful thing. No one knows because these championships are brand new. So it's what the
Yep.
wrestler does with these championships. It's what these fights are like, and if we're looking at how Judah versus Goal was, and if we're looking at how I already know this triple threat tomorrow night is going to be, then I think these championships are going to hold a great history, and it's going to be great. And we don't know whether these champions are going to hold it for a long time, whether it's going to be a short road. We have no idea, and that's what I'm so excited for. We're going to see what happens to these championships, what stories, what incredible twists and turns these championships will endure. And yeah, I know people's ears are perking up, so I want to give you the results. The GM of the week for me. Now,
Let's go.
it was a hard one. What I'm going to do is give you all some ratings. I'll break it down. So we're going to give Havoc an 8 out of 10.
I'd agree with that.
And I'm going to give Mercy a 9 out of 10. Now, I'm a put my points across real quick. Yeah,
Okay.
I think both shows were incredible, but when you look at it, we had, and I'm not saying comedy wins, there's a lot more aspects to it, but we had the comedy aspect of Hobo Jim and Kev kind of shocking everybody. And if we're being honest, look, I love a tables fight. And Brian put on an incredible fight, but there's no way you can compare main events, right? There was one for a honor championship with a bit of history there between Judah and Gold, and then we had Brian and Blackout. They're just kind of they're two big guys, so it was cool, but I feel like big guys like that don't need tables, in my opinion. There may be some wrestlers out there that should use tables, but I
Yeah.
don't feel like you need wrestlers of that magnitude, super heavyweights in the ring using tables. But look, I wouldn't say there was any losers. An 8 out of 10 and a 9 out of 10, both incredible scores, certainly. And I think that this is going to be a weekly thing, and I hope that they become competitive. I know that it will be friendly between these two. It will never get personal. It'll be a professional battle. And I'm very excited to see where it goes. And I think that it'll only benefit both of them, the pressure of trying to do better than the other.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I definitely think I would honestly have to agree with you when it comes to those GM ways. I gotta say on the Ghoul side, I definitely give you about an 8 out of 10. On that Nolan side, I definitely give about a 9. I give you a 9.5 for Book and Judah. Thank you. That's my personal favorite. So you get 9.5 for Book and Judah. But at least other than that, everything we could ever want from these shows. You got action. We got something for everybody. You want some tag teams? Come on down. We got tag teams. You want to see
Yeah.
some women fight? Come on down. We got women.
We got,
You want to see a hobo and his shit stained drawers? Come down here. We got a hobo and some shit stained drawers. It's most likely gonna whoop your ass, but
yeah.
we got it. Whatever you
Yeah.
want.
No, that's it. I think that's another great thing about it. Yeah, there's just a wide range of everything. Even the extreme with Havoc, we have it all. And with the MMA, I mean, let's talk obviously about that. We have that as well. If you just rather see people smash the shit out of each other until one gets completely faded and knocked out, then we got that as well. So strap
Yes,
yourselves
we
in
do.
because we're already getting started.
Strap yourselves in.
Sunday was a taste
Yes, it does.
of what's to come.
Yes, it
It's
was. And then basically taking it moving on forward from here, we're going to go ahead and cover what was a star-studded Sunday. We had ourselves a little MMA tournament. We had a lot of people go in, test their luck in a new brand of fighting, I should say. And my, was it a hell of a night. To start us off, we had SJ Ray versus Chloe Miyu. And
yeah, we did. Look, when I turned
Lord,
up to the event, I found out that unfortunately, due to the lack of my own um, scheduling, let's say, I couldn't get another commentator alongside me. So I was a little bit down and out. But oh my God, it didn't matter. They put on every single person who turned up was not messing around, man. They was in the gym. They had training camps. They have been taking this MMA seriously, and none other than SJ Ray terrifies me. Okay, she
for
absolutely
real.
terrifies me. You can't get someone of Chloe Miyu's magnitude and beat her in 90 seconds, man. It was the craziest thing. I think it was the shortest fight I've seen in the last year and a half of really doing commentary and owning promotions over here in the EFED scene. It was crazy. I know that if you get a submission, it happens in UFC. We see it. There are some submissions that you have to tap instantly because you're going to break something if you don't. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah.
So it's better for your longevity to just give up, and I know that's what Chloe done, and it really shows that SJ had a camp. She had trainers. She was not messing about. She came with sponsorships. Do you know what I mean? All over her shorts. She
Mm-hmm.
was ready. And it was just amazing, man. I was really excited to see her fight because she kept coming to me with these ideas and what she wanted to do and how she's been changing up her game, her submissions, all building up to that week. She was really upset the week before that it got delayed, said that, it messed with her momentum, but it didn't. It really proved that she is just, I don't want to say it, but if I had the money, she's going to win this event. I just think that she's on a different level at the moment, and it's almost good to see. I mean, of course it's good to see, but it's even better to see because she's kind of been ringside watching
Hmm.
Rebecca in the two fights with Liliana. And I think that's maybe fueled it even more because it's like, okay, I'm going to get this 90-second win. I'm going to get everyone staring at me. Do you know what I mean? Screw the people in the women's division who've had these matches. I'm the best in the business. And I think that everyone else is terrified. This is some Ronda Rousey UFC prime shit right here.
Yeah, that's a way you want to get yourself known, especially amongst these women. That's a hell of a way to show it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what an opener again, and by the woman, just incredible openers after openers. It's something we love to see here, and it's the norm. And I think that anyone watching this podcast who doesn't watch wrestling much may find that statement from me then a little bit confusing. I just want to summarize. They haven't had the limelight in wrestling over the years. It's always been one match, maybe if they're lucky in a card. We try and give them the openers here, the main events, and they always deliver. They show why it's even more exciting sometimes than the male. I mean, look, we talked about the counterparts like WWE. Look at the Money in the Bank, the Elimination Chambers, the Royal Rumbles. I'm always preferring the women's fights. They're just
Hmm.
so much more crazy, less predictable. It's just, I think they always come out with a bigger point to prove. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And that's how they always go out there and they smash it. Way back from the
absolutely.
first WrestleMania main event for the women all the way to tonight, not tonight, sorry, at Sunday and at Havoc when it opened. I think it's just great. And that MMA fight, just like I said, I'm terrified of her. She
Yeah,
came, she came in after, and I was shaking. I thought she was going to make me cut something in as well. I didn't know what she wanted, but she just thanked me for the opportunity and said, "I can't wait for the semis." I mean, that's someone who's at war and ready to go.
I must say you got Faded out here quaking in his boots. It's not easy to do.
100, yeah. I mean, just incredible, yeah. And like I said, I've always held Chloe up in a high regard. So if you beat Chloe, you're a great fighter in my books.
For real. And in 90 seconds, Jesus Christ, I
Yeah,
can only imagine what more we got to see from SJ Ray.
yeah. Thank you
Um,
for the shorts. Thank you for the TikToks because that is great. That's great content. Just thank you, SJ. You've done us proud, really, with that 90 seconds. It's
we gonna
incredible.
give you that. Thank you
Yeah,
for giving us such a moment.
and I mean, fight two. Jesus Christ.
Fight two, Lord, I think with one of the most I can't even one of the most visually surprising and also very surprising KO. We had Organized Skull versus Alan Wagner, and I think it's safe to say Skull's hands are quite organized. They are set in a
Yeah.
meticulous fashion,
I was
and
just about to use that pun myself. It's very organized.
oh
That was
my God, my man said I'm organized and I won't miss.
yeah.
And good God Almighty, you want to talk about, man? Look, if he's Organized Skull, then I feel like that uppercut got to be called the hole puncher now, because that was wild.
Look, I'm a religious man, and I feel like that punch got it. I feel like Wagner was ascending to heaven, and that's why he levitated, and he got lucky towards the end and came back to life. But I've
For
never seen
real.
someone fall upwards in my life. It was, I want
My
to say
man.
terrifying, but it was
Good
just
Lord.
incredible because it was just what I needed. It was late in the UK. I was I had no caffeine next to me. I was just kind of relaxing. But at that point, I got a bit comfortable. My commentary wasn't intense. And he just woke me back up. And I was elated. I was worried for Alan's safety. And these two are friends. They're a tag team. God damn it! Why would
They a
you?
tag team.
Why would you hit your tag team partner that hard?
I'm,
I
I'm
don't
like, I'm
know.
like, I'm like, honestly, what it looked like to me, and I'm gonna throw in a little seeds here because it's just me. This is what I do. I'm a journalist. But
Yeah,
I'm saying, yeah, like, bro, y'all the tag team. I'm guessing Skull was tight, man. He's
yeah.
like, you
Look,
got to
I
stop
think
get losing to Hobo Joe. You got to get knocked out.
all of these fighters came in with an agenda, and I think that their agenda was never to go the distance. Although I wanted it, I wanted to judge. I thought it would have been fun for myself. I don't think they wanted to give me that opportunity. Everyone wanted to get it done. I think that Wagner and Organized, they had a handshake before they knew the deal. One of them was getting knocked out, and they just had to,
Absolutely.
they had to accept it. And yeah, it was. Someone said it to me earlier in the in the Discord, all our fighters and backstage people are in. Someone said it in the chat where they said, Bob, that's it, Bob Caldwell, obviously famous wrestler, said, I don't think even now, you know, that we've only seen one part of this MMA. He said, I don't think we're going to see a knockout like that ever again in this tournament. And I think that is a big statement to make, but I think that it's true. I don't think we're going to see another 90 seconds. I don't think we're going to see another KO like that because it's how to get people hooked, you know, and that again,
For real.
it went incredible on TikTok. It's done the rounds. YouTube Shorts has been doing really well. That knockout. I'm just grateful for these wrestlers to give us these 30-second shorts that we can push out on social media with these incredible titles. No clickbait. You can see somebody get knocked the hell out, fly up in the air. It was
For
brutal.
real.
And yeah, look, my hype at that moment was great, and I just knew that the card was only getting better as well, with names.
Only getting
I was
better.
just I was so excited. But yeah, hell of a knockout, and I don't think that'll be replicated again.
To be quite honest, I don't think so neither. That was a hell of a. That's just a hell of a beginning. You got the 90-second knockout. You got another hell of a knockout. Just
This is
back to
what I'm
back
saying.
moments.
This is what I'm saying. Whoever goes against them next round, good fucking luck.
For
Genuine.
real. Good
Because
luck.
we could be looking at the winners right now.
For real, honestly, I'm calling it. Safe to call it. Third match into the night, we had Ileana versus Raquel Adams. Ileana going ahead and avenging her name, picking up that W. Great for her.
Yeah, I think
Wonderful to see it.
that's important, you know, because you can, like I said earlier on when I was touching upon Chloe and Skylar, like you can come here. When I confused Skylar for Chloe, rather, shall I say, you could come here and you could have a car crash, you know, and it kind of felt like. Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Hello?
can.
Went for a second. We're all good. Yeah, it kind of felt like Lily Allen was going down that road. If she was going to lose at the MMA corner, would have been quite devastating. But no,
Absolutely.
she just maybe isn't as good as Rebecca. And look, sometimes that's fine. Do you know what I mean? Some people's wrestling style or fighting style is different to you, and you just cannot compete with it. That doesn't
Yes.
make you any different, you know. So I think that she proved that. Rochella, a great wrestler, of course, so very well for Liliana. And the interesting thing I think now is, do I become and embrace the heel that I always used to be? I've tried to tone it down a little bit. You know, I've tried to be a bit of a nicer guy over at Ultra.
Yeah.
Do we do it? We know that she couldn't beat Rebecca, so do we put her against the tag partner in the semi-finals? Do we go SJ versus Liliana? Yeah, it could be an evil move, but it could be a move I may have to make. We will see
Honestly.
what the other
Honestly.
quarters say.
That sounds like a good sounding match. Speaking of good sounding matches, one that I personally had my eye on, besides the one after this, we had Darren Matthews versus Ranger Redneck. And unfortunately, Ranger, again, picking up an L. Darren Matthews was able to kind of turn that British disturbance, I'll call that, around from the first night, and we were able to pick up that W. Granted, it wasn't a team W, but still, individual wins do help for teams.
Yeah, look, there was a fair few tweets, a fair few people who said that maybe Ranger deserved that one. They felt like he was the better man in that fight. Look, I don't know. Darren managed to pick up the W, and look, when you have two heavy hitters like that in the ring, way over 240 pounds each, so I would say, when you have those two in the ring, you got to be careful, because one bad move can honestly put you in a coma. God damn it, let's be real. When you have that much weight behind every shot, it can be very dangerous. And
That's a lot of weight.
yeah, I think that
That's a lot of weight.
they both done it really well. They both smashed it, and I couldn't have put them against anyone else because of their weight size. They had to go against each other, and I think that it was a good fight, like you said. Yeah, look, Darren picked up the W. I think that Ranger probably did outperform them a little bit, but that's what MMA is. It's one lucky move. If you get that submission in, if you hit somebody in the temple or in that delicate part, you're going to get that KO. It doesn't matter who performs better. It's all about who could get that one moment that wins.
Who can hit that spot and who can hit it the fastest.
Yeah, that's it. And then, I mean, we're talking about next the undisclosed main event, if you will. Daisuke and Judah. This one was so natural. It just felt like I was next to DC. Do you know, I felt like I was actually at a UFC event. I had
Hmm.
DC by my side and I was commentating. Like it just it felt great. And it felt like the one that was I think it was the longest fight of the night, if I am correct. It certainly went into the later stages. And it felt like for me it was gonna go all the way at one point.
It was looking at it. It was
Yeah.
looking like it. Once we got past that 4 minutes, I was like, "Oh shit,
I
they
said it
may they
myself.
may take it."
I said it myself before. I wanted a fight to go all the way, and look, I'm kind of glad that one didn't. I think because it would have been the one I would have struggled to call the most. It was such an incredible battle. Like
It
it was
was.
so hard, really, for me to try and guess who was going to win. Look, I just saw Judah as you did come off. Sorry, a great W, the Honor
Hmm.
Championship. So we knew that there was going to be a lot of momentum there. I wouldn't say more than Daisuke, I suppose, because Daisuke obviously has the hardcore championship opportunity coming up this
Hmm.
Wednesday. So both massive moments in their
Yeah,
careers.
championship contender.
Yeah, I think that MMA, it's not going to be something that we're going to do in a tournament. We're going, we got a whole championship. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be running that back. That's not going to be a one-time thing. I hope that it's a rubber match. I hope that as I hope that it's a one-all after the second time they bout, and it would be great to see them go all the way. I think that a third fight, if obviously they do fight again, and the result is in the other favor, it would be really cool to see. But
It
yeah,
would.
it has that potential, I would say. But incredible from both of them. They really know that side of the combat sport industry, and yeah, it was just a great fight to watch.
Yeah, definitely a lot of great technique from the both of them. A lot of good strikes. This was definitely one of those hard hitting battles that was just like you already know this is gonna be entertaining to say the least. I ain't even care who won this one. I was just like, yeah, this one's just gonna be fire. I'm gonna get my snacks. I'm gonna make sure I pee before, and we
Yeah,
have a great time because I ain't missing nothing.
yeah, we were all just glad to be there, I think, and witness it. It was great. And then, I mean, the main event, obviously, Brax and Jay, these two,
My God.
they really have that experience. This isn't just training camps. This is
Whew.
UFC history.
Yeah,
At its deepest. I'm talking Lesnar style, not CM Punk here.
for
They
real.
had great reigns over at UFC, and they've had fights before the past. They know each other. So it was a fight that I think I was really excited for. I do personally believe maybe Shooter and Daisuke was fight of the night. Probably should have been main event. It was underlooked a little bit, but um, O'Grady and Brex did not disappoint. It was a great fight. I think Brex needed it because in his last UFC battle over at SCW back in the day, he lost in the first round, I think, and for the longest reigning UFC champion, it was majorly surprising. We knew that his head wasn't at the right place. He didn't train
Yeah.
the way he should have, and he really done that this time. And I think this is another reason he stayed behind the scenes as the board. He doesn't want to look as an owner who's wrestling as well because he doesn't get any handouts because he's in the board. It's just a good standpoint really for him, and I think that he prefers to be wrestling still. Whereas I'm past that. I've had my time in the spotlight. I've had my opportunities. I've had my moments that will live on. I'm good now being the old man, the wise guy. It's fine. So to see him wrestle is awesome. To see him and Jay battle was great, and I think that Brex is another dude that can most likely go all the way in this. And I think that another super heavyweight battle, Brex and Darren Matthews, it's already written in the stars. That is going to be the quarterfinal. That's one
Mm-mm.
quarterfinal that's booked already. Because we have to put people that size together until there's only one of them left, really. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like there are so many possibilities for this MMA tournament. I'm very excited to see where we end up with as we just continue to go forth. A lot of potential dream matches can happen, a lot of potential big matches. So very excited there. Overall for this show, how would you rate it?
um, I can't do 10 because I think there's room for improvement in everything that we do in life. I
Mm.
will go as far as a 9.7. It had everything. It had quick. Look, like I said, I was kind of deflated because it was a busy weekend for me, getting everything ready for
Right.
Mercy with the rescheduling and everything. It was a busy weekend, and I was kind of deflated going in on my own on commentary, and it didn't feel like that. They put on such an incredible show, and UFC or MMA, shall I say, always gets looked at differently when it's in these kind of arenas, shall we say, in wrestling 2K arenas. It can always get looked at a bit differently. But I feel like every wrestler worked on their moveset. They adapted to
Mhm.
the MMA fight style, and it didn't feel like a wrestling match. It didn't feel like that. Obviously, there is wrestling in MMA, clues in the name mixed martial arts. So you're going to see that. You're going to see wrestling. You're going to see stand and bang. You're going to see grappling. You're going to see submissions. You're going to see all of it, and that's what I love about it. So I
Yeah.
think that
Oh,
9.7, if I have to say, what can we improve on? Um, the graphics, that's my fault, obviously, hands down. I need to put the height and the weight of each fighter, just a little bit of a background so we know what we're looking at. We can't figure out reach, obviously. We know that's impossible in
yeah.
a situation like this, but at least the height and the weight, we know who has the advantages. But yeah, I think from the improvement side, that's on me. Nothing the wrestlers have to do at all. Maybe go to distance one time so your man can judge. That would be fun. But and more blood, as long as it's safe and it's not too damaging. We do like blood at MMA, so the more graphic, the better. I'm really excited for it. It's going to take place again this Sunday, the round of 16 for the men's and the two other quarterfinals for the women. So when this is completed at the end of Sunday night, we will be looking forward to the men's quarterfinals and the women's semi-finals. Just a quick refresher in case you do not know, after the women's semi-finals, they will be paused until the men are obviously through the semi-finals as well. And the finals will take place at Ultra 2 Terra in Tokyo. We are so excited for the finals.
Ooh.
It's going to
And
be
then switching, yeah, and then switching those gears. Now that we've covered all of our weekly shows, thank you for joining us for the weekly shows. We're gonna get into some cool little PLEs, pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them, whatever's cool for you. We're gonna go in here and talk about some of these upcoming events. As we just mentioned, Ultra X2, the next numbered Ultra event, will be taking place in the land of the rising sun, Tokyo. For Terra in Tokyo, we are returning back there for the first time. Ultra Wrestling, we gonna take our wonderful brand to Tokyo. We're gonna have a fantastic time. I have heard some rumors, so I'm gonna get into a little rumor here for you guys, my special fans. I have heard cough, hint, hint, clear throat, clear throat. What I've heard through the grapevine is that we already have good old Damian Garcia, one of the well-known names when it comes to being in these Tokyo shows. Going back home, feel me, getting that hero's welcome. And I've been told when we're in
I know
Tokyo,
what you're gonna say. I've heard the rumors. They've been asking. They've been trying to get it out of me.
I've heard in Tokyo.
Yeah.
We got to give Damo a big event. We got to give him a big fight feel. And so I've been hearing rumblings if it could possibly be Damo versus Judah, a Judah fight happening. Is
Yeah,
there any
look,
light you can shed on that for me?
I can I can say so much. I mean, firstly, you're looking at me. I'm not wearing a pink suit. I'm not Sean. So unfortunately, there's some things I can't say per se right now. A few things I can say, and I will say this. Firstly, let's touch upon Damien. It has to happen. Damien is the heartbeat of Tokyo. Terror in Tokyo the last year it's my prized possession, I think. Obviously, I'm mistaken. Everyone knows that's the big one.
The
But Terror
big.
in Tokyo was something that mattered a lot to me. I hosted a lot of press conferences, and the one between Joe and Damien was breaking barriers. And what I loved about them is, we watch all these YouTube guys now. We see Logan Paul and Dylan Dallas going at each other. And it's like my man John Fury said, and Tyson Fury, the fight game is the fight game, but you never make it personal. You
Mhm.
kill each other and you battle each other, but you never make it personal. And this is what Damien and Joe done. They pushed at each other as much as they could, but they never went through that barrier and never took it too far. They shook hands at the end of that fight. They knew that it was money. That's what we're all here for. Let's be honest. Let's
Yeah.
be rude. It's a money fight, and that's what it was. So look, I would be, I would be abused. I would have stuff launched at me if I tried telling people that Damo wasn't opening Sarah in Tokyo. He has to. There's no other option. And look, if I had it my way, Judah Jones is going to be straight next to him. That fight will sell tickets, and it will get prying eyes because there will be other pay-per-views. Like we know, Saturday night is a busy, busy night. Even with the counterparts of like WWE and AEW, not just EFEDs, it's a busy night for every single promotion, sports event, motorsport, all around the world. Saturday's a huge night, and we have
Yes.
the opportunity to try and get people at home to. We have to do the impossible and stop people from going clubbing anyway. Stop people just
Yeah.
going to restaurants. Make people sit at home on their Saturday nights and watch us. That's what we have to do. And the only way that's going to happen, Sean, I hope you're listening, is by booking Judah Jones and Damo. We need it to happen. I have already ensured that Damo is going to be opening that event. And I hope it is with Judah because we want that Honor Championship just sort of in that title, just to make it look a little bit more crazy. But yeah, look, we know how it is, all right? We know what the promoter's going to do. I can't say too much, all right? I like the rumors, keep people talking. Engagement is an incredible tool. The more people talk, the more people ask questions, the better it is for us. So I'm just going
Yes,
to snap
sir.
at you. I'll give you a little wait that others can't see. You don't know what's going to happen, neither do I. We will see. And the second we have a match card up, we will let you guys know. Press conference or media scrub is certainly in the talks as well. So, yeah, just keep an eye out. It's the end of September here in Tokyo, so we haven't got long at the end of the day. These fights are going to be booked very quickly over the next week. I would say by Sunday, half the card's done. So just keep an
Let
eye. Make sure
let's
you have it before you watch Mercy, because this is where the fights start. This is where the storylines get created, chapters get made. So, watch the shows, and by the end of Sunday night, by the end of UFC, I can promise you half of that card at least will be full, and we will have the answer by the end of Mercy. Or at least if Sean goes public with it, I'm not sure if he is or not. We don't know where his head's at. But yeah, that fight, a lot of fans want to know. I can't confirm it, but expect it to be confirmed soon is all I will say.
my man Sean, give the people what they want. We are here for it. We are ready. That's just a little rumor I heard.
That's
Neither
it.
here nor there. But we love to see it. We love to see it. We love to hear about it. So I can't wait to hear more about this wonderful event. Remember, be tuned. September 30th, Ultra X2. We are going to terrorize Tokyo.
Yeah,
Nothing but
I'm just gonna add a quick few things, just
go ahead.
a quick keynotes that we know already. So there will be obviously two MMA finals for the HC. We won't say the name, the HCG Championship here. It's going to be incredible, right? Two MMA fights, male and female. That's going to be taking place. AJ Ryder will be going against 5 other people in the Elimination Chamber, defending the Ultra X Championship. Can
Let's see
AJ
if he
do
could
the
do it
impossible?
again.
Well, look, it's called the Chamber of Choice because AJ has all the choices. AJ picks when he comes out. He picks when every single other wrestler comes out in that chamber, the Chamber of Choice, and it's the choice of the champion's advantage. What is AJ going to do? Because look, we've heard and we've seen throughout the years that coming out in first can kind of help you in a chamber. It's not like a rumble where you want to come out 30th. You want to be fired up. You don't want to be coming out with not warmed up limbs because you've been sat in a tight, claustrophobic pod for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? You want to be fired up. So I'm really excited to see what strategy AJ takes. And for people wondering, the opener, should it take place, the Honor Championship, I have to say for definite, but I'm totally teasing you guys with it. If that is happening, that will certainly be included. So the winner of the Honor Championship will be in that chamber at the end of the night as well.
Whoo! Hold on, hold on, hold
You heard it
on.
here first. Exclusive. Put that
Hold
your
on, ladies.
clickbait title. We heard it here first.
Oh shit, that just happened. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first, the exclusive.
Yeah.
Man, whoever walks out of there on a championship, on a champion at the
I have
opener of Terror in
one more
Tokyo.
thing. One more thing I'll confirm. The MMA will not.
Oh,
The MMA winner will not be in it. I think that's fair because the woman as well, obviously, they would miss out winning their championship and not going forward to something. So that does not count. But we do have something else that will count, and an interesting concept with it. We have the first brand of warfare. It's going to be war games, 3 versus 3, Havoc versus Mercy. The person who gets the pinfall to win the match will go into that chamber. Uh-huh.
Man,
you're right. You got to earn your spot. God damn it! Like there's no free passes. There's no easy matches. I'd say the easiest opportunity so far was Shane getting in that chamber because he went against me, and we knew how that story had to end. So of course, there's a few, but this time now you have to go through the ringer to get yourself in that chamber.
And Lord have mercy, with just the first rumored match that has not been made official, whether it's Damian Garcia in that chamber, or whether it's Judah Jones, this shit just got a whole lot more interesting.
I'm gonna make it a little bit more interesting with the last little bit of information that I can give.
Oh Lord, so much.
So a lot of people have been looking at the championships. They've been staring at that prestigious Ultra World Championship, men's championship, and thinking, where is it? Why isn't anyone going for it? So surely it's up at Ultra 2, right? No, it's not. And I'll tell you for why.
Oh.
I've seen too many championships get handed to people, and this is the best championship in the world, all right? This is the World Ultra Championship.
It's the world. It's the big one.
I will tell you what happens.
Should
the universe work out the way that, not that I want AJ to win, but should the universe lose? Should the universe work out the way it does? The Ultra X1 chamber winner and the Ultra X2 chamber winner, should it not be AJ, will face off at Halloween for the coveted thinking of a previous bet I controlled, Ultra World Championship. So there is no contenders matches. There is no if the GM likes you, or sorry, my microphone went for a second there. Again, there is no, you're the son's owner. There's nothing like that here. This is purely blood, sweat, and tears. If you want to get into that fight, if you want to get into that world championship battle, blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of people are going to be wondering quickly, and I will clarify: what if AJ wins and holds on to that championship?
That's a lot of championships for AJ.
Yeah. So what if he wins the chamber, but then we don't have an opponent, right? We don't have another person to go against AJ. This is where it gets even more interesting.
Oh Lord!
If we can't find anyone, what we will do at the next prime time, and I'll talk about prime time in a minute a little bit more. At the next prime time event, what we will do is we will pick the Havoc Hardcore champion. You know where I'm going with this. We will pick the Honor champion. We will put these two champions together as well as the primetime champion, may I forget. Should that, of course, not be AJ, because AJ's making this whole thing complicated by taking the championship in his grasp. But should AJ not be primetime champion, Brian will be included in that match too. The Honor champion, the Hardcore champion, and the primetime champion will go against each other for that contendership match. This is what I am saying. The World Championship. Look, you can look at it's going to be a weird kind of turn of phrase here. If you're 18, you'll understand it. Or if you're over, certainly. But the championship, like the Honor Championship, the Hardcore Championship, they are not mid-cards. They are gateway drugs. Okay, you get onto those championships, and your road is going to get crazy from there.
Yes, they do.
I just want to see somebody hold that world championship if they haven't had a championship prior. That's a big statement, I know, but that's a statement I'm sticking to. To get that world championship, you need to show that you're dominant. You need to show that you're a champion. You've been champion.
Yeah.
The first time that championship will be defended, or not defended, so I say, up for grabs, will be at the Halloween event. Not the Halloween event that we'll be speaking about soon. The Halloween event that drops on Halloween, the 29th of October, I believe. No, the 31st of October. It will be the Saturday, so it will be the 29th of October, annoyingly. No one wants to do a Halloween event on Halloween if it's a Monday, right? We do it on the Saturday.
That's facts.
But yeah, there's a lot. Your heads are probably going crazy with everything I have announced. We are
Go.
just getting started, you know. The
I'm
Halloween event that we've
Lord.
been talking up that I'm sure you want to talk about. I kind of want to give you the mic to talk about
Well,
the Halloween thing.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess to give us a little bit more excitement, not only did we get a whole bunch of exclusives and a whole bunch of fantastic news, I, Nathaniel, am very excited for the future of Ultra. This is going to be amazing. But at least from what I have heard from another fellow as well, one of my personal favorites, his name is Main Event Judah Jones. Y'all know him as Main Event Judah, nothing but heart hustle and main event muscle. You know what time it is, baby. Your honor champion. I wound up speaking to him ever so briefly. One day we'll get him in for an interview. But at least here, what I have been told is that there is going to be a new kind of little special pay-per-view coming in the month of October. Still settling on a date right now. We don't have anything confirmed on that yet. But what I can tell you is From Hell and Back. It's going to be our new pay-per-view, at least coming out for this month, October, as I have
Mm-hmm.
been told. Good old Judah Jones is going to go ahead and take creative control of that event. So this is going to be for the people, by the people. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. We're going to have a fantastic time. I will be there in attendance to witness the greatness. We've been told we're going to see some crazy shit. One of the craziest things that I have been told we will see is basically that world, as we all know. If you don't know the origins of Halloween, at one point, it was used as basically a day where you can cross the other side. You can
Mm-hmm.
talk to people you ain't never talked to before. You can see things that you ain't never seen before because the veil
I
has been
got
broken.
goosebumps, mate. I got goosebumps. I'm
It
excited.
it could be broken, or you can see some things. You know, it's that one special time of day where shit just gets crazy. And shit's
Hell
gonna
yeah.
get crazy at From Hell and Back. I'm gonna give y'all one little match that I have been told is happening, and it's gonna be a doozy. So not only do we have some famous names in our wrestlers, of course, you know, you're gonna see your favorites. You're gonna see Ranger. You're gonna see Allen. You're gonna see Faded. You're gonna see Judah. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have all your fan favorites. We're gonna see some people you ain't never seen before. And I don't just mean other wrestlers. I mean people you ain't never seen before in this capacity coming in, testing their metal. We got let me see, who can I think of? A certain nightmare from Elm Street. We
Hell
got
yeah.
Mr. Kruger in there. What? We
What?
got Mr. Friday, which may
What?
not be on the 13th. What? All
Hell yeah.
right. We got people running around with chainsaws, wearing faces. What?
What?
Man, we
We got
got it all. We
everyone.
got it coming up. One match I can tell you has been made official, and I'm very excited for it. Of course, one of my favorites. Judah Jones will be in action, of course. But no championships, no nothing like that. We not gonna go too crazy. Judah's not about that life yet. We gonna give you a show. And what better show than to open it up with one of the horror characters that pretty much started it all. Ladies and gentlemen, one match that has been confirmed. We will be seeing main event Judah Jones taking on none other than the granddaddy of horror itself, Count Dracula.
Hell yeah.
That's gonna be a hell of a match there. From the Dracula that I've seen coming in here, this is not a guy to play with. This guy looks deadly. He looks badass. It looks awesome. I've seen a little bit of the arena so far. There will be some promo stuff coming out here shortly, from what I've been told. So I am excited for it. Definitely keep a lookout on that. More details will be coming soon from Hell and Back. Keep it on your calendars. Make sure it's fresh in your mind because that's going to be coming sooner than you think. We're going to have plenty of other great matches in there as well. But to kind of switch to our last topic here, there was one more thing that we briefly discussed earlier that we're going to get some more details about. I heard a little rumblings, but now it's been made official. Mr. Faded Skull, sir, can you tell us a little bit more about Prime Time?
Hell yeah, I can. I mean, look, clues in the name, firstly, you know. at the end of the day, we spoke about a championship that was going to be introduced called the Primetime Championship, which was going to be, if you remember Cyber Sunday, it's kind of a nod to that in a way where people can be interactive, people can get involved. And at the end of every single week, we will have votes on who will be, who put on Fight of the Week. Because of all the changes that occurred this week with last week, sorry, with the roster, I felt it was fitting to get the GMs to choose the fight of the night purely because of all the drastic changes. It was hard for everyone to keep up with. They obviously placed Brian, Reyes, and AJ Ryder. And yeah, I mean, the idea was I don't want to really bombard my GMs with matches and tell them what to do. And the Primetime Championship is going to be a very common occurrence. It's going to be defended a lot. So it feels right to put on a little show called Primetime.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a little different. I mean, if you think of the Ultimate X Arena, we're going to be getting a little bit of a vibe like that. The Primetime, we're trialing the Primetime Championship to be a ladder match. We're going to see how it does. We cannot confirm it will always be a ladder match. It depends on a few things. If you know, when it comes to 2K. We'll see how it goes, really. But yeah, Primetime, it's going to be the Primetime Championship every single time. And then there will be 2 undercard fights, one from Mercy, one from Havoc, and potentially crossovers. So Mercy versus Havoc, Mercy versus Havoc. Who knows? It's just a show that people can really show off themselves. Hence the name, and Primetime is the person, the money, Mr. Money, Mrs. Money, who is making it. And that's the greatest thing as well. It is not down to one gender. It can be won by female or male. And if female wins Fight of the Night and then a male wins Fight of the Night, we'll go to our friends at Fight Forever and we will have an intergender fight and we'll make it happen.
We're going to do it.
The championship is exclusive to every single person in our roster. Anyone can get it. So if you want it, perform at your best. But yeah, Primetime, the show, it will be on Sundays. There will be a little bit of a conflict at the moment, obviously, with the MMA tournament going ahead as well. The MMA tournament will, from this Sunday, be hosted at the Primetime Arena. So it will technically be the Primetime events and it will just have the MMA tournaments on it. Obviously, when the MMA tournament does finish at Ultra 2 Terror in Tokyo, the Primetime will go back to the normal schedule. And like I said, 2 undercard shows and then the Primetime Championship main event. But look out for the arena. We are going to be dropping it soon. It is very different to anything you are used to seeing in 2K. We have some additions to it that will make it one of a kind, let's say. And yeah, I've already given you a little hint with the Ultimate X, of course. So I can't wait to show you guys. It's a little show that there's no GM, there's no roster anyone's a part of, anyone can be a part of, but it's being Mr. or Mrs. Primetime. That's what it's about.
Well, awesome to hear here. Definitely, man, this has been a hell of a first episode of our weekly podcast for the recaps and results here for Ultra Wrestling. Remember, you can always catch it Wednesday at what time?
Yeah, so we have Havoc on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. We have sorry, I thought you were talking about the podcast for a second. Yeah,
you're A-okay.
Yeah, we have Havoc on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. We have Mercy on Saturdays. We are confirming between 11 p.m. and midnight UK time. We will get that across on the Twitter and all the socials by Wednesday. By the end of Havoc, we will confirm, and you will hear my voice on commentary confirmed by the end of Havoc when Mercy will be each week. As we've said, there's so much competition on Saturdays. We are trying to find that optimum time for people to wind down and watch Ultra before the next pay-per-view that they have in the incredible event community. So it's just, we're confirming a time with that. But then on Sundays, we have the MMA tournament, 9 p.m. as well, BST, all of those. So 9 p.m. BST, Havoc. You're going to have to figure out your own time zones. I know it's 4 p.m. on the Eastern, Central, I believe, would be free. But if you're looking at anything further than that, Australian, Pacific, you look it up yourself. It's too confusing for me. But
I say these time zones get crazy. So whenever it drops for y'all, it drops.
That's it. BST all the time on any of our shows. If you see it advertised, it's summit time. So do your time zone differences from that. All of our social medias is at Ultra Wrestling X, every single one of them. The same handle, very easy to find. We are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter, and of course Discord. If you do want to join the Discord, it's a private Discord, so make sure you fill out an application form to be considered. Finally, I suppose, put the plug in for this podcast. We will share it on our Discord. I'll share it on our Twitter, and I will actively make sure that it is on Havoc tomorrow. A little preview of the podcast and a link to the channel that the podcast is on, as it is not on the Ultra channel, as you will know. So a little plug in from yourself here on the channel name and where you can find all the list details.
And you already know what time it is, bringing it over to my side. I am once again Nathaniel Clark. This is Oh Shit That Happened. This is going to be my show, little podcast here live on YouTube. When will it officially be coming out? I have no clue on days because I'm still working that out. So whenever I get a chance to, at least before that Havoc drops, I will make sure we give y'all a recap episode before the new week of wrestling begins. If I cannot, I will let you know ahead of time. But at least from there, you can catch me right here on this YouTube. We're still working out some socials and things like that, but I will make sure all that information gets to you wonderful people. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to say thank you again, the Faded Skull, for being here with me, for shooting the shit, and just for hanging out, giving us some exclusives. We love to hear it. Faded, thank you for being on the show.
No, thank you. I've been looking forward to it, and whether it's been 2 hours, it felt like just a standard conversation. It was great, and I hope that reflects to the viewers. I hope you enjoy watching it and given our kind of rundown. It was fun to do. A lot of people talk about it, and you see it, especially with WWE, AEW. It's kind of nice to sit down after the fights and discuss it with another wrestling fan at heart. Because I am a CEO, I can be stressful, and I can come across sometimes as a bit of just focused on my work too much that I don't wind down. But I needed this really, so thank you for this. This 2 hours was great, and it was good to look back at a great week and a successful week of just what I wanted the first week of Ultra to be. It was just brilliant. And, I may make the fights, the GMs may book the fights, but it's the people who bring this together. It's the creative people, you who are listening to this right now, you making this podcast. It's all of the incredible cogs that we have that make this machine so special. And I had a lot of fear. I had a lot of anxiety going on my own, making Ultra. I'm not sure how it was going to fade. Could I do this on my own? And it was great to see how well it's done and the support that we have. Over 250 followers on Twitter in the first month. It's great. The YouTube doing really well. We're great. So yeah, just make sure you're subscribed. Thank you again for having me, and just keep in touch because listen to the next episodes. If you haven't listened to Wagner, it was a great shoot. I loved that podcast. Make sure you check it out. And yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for having me, and we'll see you tomorrow night for Havoc.
Yes, we will. We're going to see y'all then for Havoc. Be sure to catch us once again. You can catch Havoc on Wednesdays, Mercy on Saturdays, and all of our pay-per-views. We will let you know all those wonderful details. This is Oh Shit That Happened with Nathaniel Clark. I am Nathaniel. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us, sitting here, shooting the shit with us. Thank you so much for spending your time, and we hope to see you again next week. I'll catch y'all later.